these past few months been like for you, and how are you feeling with the start of spring camp?
I'm feeling great right now. These past few months just been getting more and more comfortable with the offense, and getting back healthy, and ready to go for spring practice, which I'm excited that I'm being able to be a part of, being out there with those guys, being out there with the new guys, transfers, freshmen, getting familiar with them, comfortable with them, and we're going to be able to go out there and make a lot of plays this season. I'm really excited about it.
You say you're more comfortable with the offense. How does that show up on the field?
Just being more comfortable with the reads that I'm making, just quicker decisions, getting the ball out on time and on target. When you're more comfortable in the offense, more time that you spend with Coach Bell, with those guys, just going through the offense, you're able to go out there and make quicker decisions. And that's really big for a quarterback. You got to be able to go out there and make those quick decisions, make the right decision, most importantly. Quicker the decisions are, the faster those guys get the ball in their hands and able to go out there and make some plays with it.
This is probably a bigger question than you can answer here in just a few minutes, but what was last season overall like for you? From the start, all the winning, getting hurt, losing 6 games in a row. How would you sum that up?
Ups and downs, highs and lows, definitely. It was a great moment when I found out that I was a starting quarterback, and then going through those games, those highs and lows in those games as well. Starting off slow against Cincinnati, and then coming back at the end, winning that game. The ups and downs of the West Virginia game, coming back and winning those games, and having a great game against UNC, breaking some records. It was a lot of fun. And some adversity hit, and I started getting into injury trouble, stuff like that. And just not being able to be out there with those guys, being able to play with them, and nothing that I could really do out there on the field with them really hurt. But that's part of the game, something that I gotta be able to handle and just push through and look forward to next year.
How do you think that
adversity
is? How do you think that adversity that you had to face last season is going to help you this season?
It's just going to be able to help me handle adversity next year. As football is a game of adversity. There's always going to be problems. Something going against you. Good defense, referees, I guess you could say. Just being able in adverse environments. Playing away games like that. We're going to West Virginia this year. You're going to have to be able to handle adversity when you're playing in a game like that. I heard they're going to be throwing batteries at me and everything, so I'm looking forward to that. As a quarterback, that's one of the biggest things a quarterback has to be able to do is handle adversity. What I've learned from last year, what I've learned, throughout my career, even in high school, middle school, when I first started playing football, there's adversity around every corner in the game of football, and you got to be able to handle it.
What have you learned about leadership, and how much do you embrace that role this year?
As a quarterback, you're kind of pushed into a leadership role, whether you like it or not. I feel like my dad and my older brother, the men in my family, have really helped me become the leader that I am today. My dad's always put me in situations where I've had to lead. Growing up, he was a big, strength and conditioning coach. Guys like that, he was a guy like that. So I'd have to, most of the times he'd help me or make me help him out. So I'd have to, lead groups. He'd have college kids out there, and I would be, 10, 11, 12 years old, telling them what to do, coaching them, and just being able to do that when I was that age, against those guys, and it just helped me, be comfortable in that leadership role when it came to time to do that.
Watching one drill this morning, you were running the ball and ducked to see that bar thing, and you screamed and threw the ball against the back fence. Is that the kind of passion? Is that something you done last year, but you feel more comfortable doing this year?
I definitely did that last year. I just weren't really out there. I was, when we had so many quarterbacks last year, guys getting reps. When we ran out of running backs, I was the next running back up. I take pride in that. I like to have fun. At the end of the day, it's a game. You got to have fun while you're doing it. Being able to go out there, have fun while I'm doing it in those drills. While I'm still helping, our quarterbacks out, our younger guys out. It's a win-win situation for me. I like to be a little athletic here and there. Doing drills like that helps me show off my athleticism and lets me, play football, I guess you could say, and stuff like that. Everybody gets a laugh out of it. Everybody's relaxed, a lot more comfortable. Even coaches, players, young guys who aren't really sure how they should handle practice yet, aren't really sure how they should go about it. When they see me, out there and relaxed, I feel like it kind of helps them relax as well.
Eli, you mentioned that you had opportunities for leadership at a young age. Are you comfortable in that role, being honest with guys, like telling them how it is?
Oh yeah, guys will tell you that I'm very honest with them. And I've told them I've had guys, tell me hey, I need you to be on me this year. And I told him, I was like, I'm gonna be honest on you, but you're not gonna like me sometimes. I gotta be honest with you. I gotta tell you what you're doing wrong. You know, you might throw a punch at me. We might tussle, but you know, if that's what you want me to do, you're gonna hear what you don't want to like sometimes. So I just being honest. I feel like it's the most important thing. The way you go about it can, you know, impact a guy a certain way. You know, if you're, you know, being a prick about it, I guess you could say, you know, they're not going to respond to that very well. But I mean, if you go take them to the side, you know, talk to them, talk through with them, you know, explain what you're expecting them to do, what they need to see, what you're seeing, stuff like that. But you know, if you do that a couple times and they don't respond to that, then I guess you got to go to the, you know, yelling at them, coaching them up, being hard on them. You know, it just depends on a certain guy. You know, he responds a certain way. You know, sometimes a guy needs to, you know, get kicked in the butt a couple times, but you know, also a guy just needs to be taken off to the side, and somebody just needs to sit down and explain it to him.
How beneficial is it to have some of your like main targets back, like Desmond, Kang, and Bobby, who can go down the line?
Oh, it's huge. You know, especially after my first year playing ball. You know, having those same guys that are out there with me is a game changer. We didn't really lose that many starters on offense from last year's team, so it feels like it's the same offense going out there. So I'm really, you know, happy that those guys are back. Excited for the timing, the glue of this offense that we have. It's the second year in this offense with everybody, so everybody's really comfortable with what we're doing right now, and I feel like this offense is going to do a lot of great things. I feel like it's going to be better from last year.
There's a lot of new faces in the receiver room. Who are some of those guys that are starting to stand out to you?
Everybody, all these new guys are exactly what we needed. They're doing great. We got Blue, Andy, Deuce, the young guys, Bryce, Sap, TK, my guys. You know, the young guys are doing great. They're taking well from the older guys. The older guys are really bringing them along. You know, showing them the way of, you know, hey, this isn't high school football anymore. You're college ball now. There's a certain way we do things, and the guys, you know, Blue, Andy, and Deuce, those are the right guys that we needed to come over, you know, and just really push this receiver room. I think this year, you know, we have a lot of depth at receiver position, which is something I didn't feel like we had last year. So I feel like no matter who's in the game with me right now or within me in practice, we're not going to skip a beat. Everybody's on the same page. You know, there's not going to be any dips or anything like that. Those guys, they want it. They're pushing each other, and they understand that, you know, the next guy coming in, he can play as well. So he's got to do his job. So everybody's going full speed and doing the little things right, which is huge.
Does Cade kick you in the butt sometimes?
Yeah, he's definitely got to kick me in the butt a couple times here and there. You know, but most of the times we're out off to the side, you know, having conversations. I'm telling him what I see, he tells me what he sees, and we're talking football. That's a big step that we took. He told me last year. He told me recently that last year, you know, he had to kick me in the butt a couple more times because he was getting me ready to be that starter for this team. You know, he wanted me to push me along pretty quick. You know, but now that I am that guy, I'm comfortable in this offense. You know, we're able to have those, you know, quiet, you know, football talks. You know, we're able to, you know, bounce ideas off of each other. I made a joke the other day, you know, we're installing some new stuff. I called a play, and it was right after he got his contract extension, so I told him that I need to get a 3-year contract extension as well. He liked that, so you know, that relationship that I have with Coach Bell now is, you know, it's really, really tight. I respect him a lot. He respects me a lot. It's another guy that I can talk to about other stuff than football. You know, we have a really close relationship now, which I'm really, really grateful for. And now we're able to go out there and make a lot of plays. I'm excited for it.
You mentioned about how you mentioned the Cincinnati game, maybe inconsistency in the Cincinnati game. You know, didn't start off great, but then finished really strong. You had a few games like that. When you look back at those, are there a lot of those inconsistencies you would just sort of attribute to youth, like inexperience playing the first time? Are you able to see, you know, maybe better now of like how you would approach some of those situations?
Absolutely. You know, that was my Cincinnati, my first away game in college football. You know, playing in a hostile environment in Cincinnati was a great experience for me. And you know, the way I was handling adversity in the beginning wasn't the way I needed to, but then I was able to, you know, flip a switch, turn it back on. You know, we were able to go out there in the second half to win the football game. But like, yeah, most of that comes with, you know, it's my first time in that situation. I learned from it, and luckily we were able to get out of there with a win. You know, I just gotta look back at all those mistakes that I made, watching film, you know, going over it with Coach Bell. I gotta learn from him, and it's definitely gonna help me with my game next year. I'm really excited about it.
Like, I don't even know if you could describe it properly, but from where you guys were at as an offense, even at the early part of last year, to where you're at now, How different is that, and what does that allow you guys to do now?
We are light years ahead of where we were, I would say, midway through the season with this offense. These guys are a lot more comfortable. Coach Bell's tweaked some things that's going to benefit us a lot. It makes me more comfortable in the offense, makes these receivers more comfortable with, the tempo. We're changing up some tempos. We're doing stuff like that. These guys are able to line up faster because of the way Coach Bell's changed it. It's just everything that we've done recently is just making this offense better and better. I'm really excited about it. These guys, and that were here during the season, these new guys that are here, they're all really excited about this offense. They want to play in this offense. Everybody's playing with the right mindset. Everybody's playing confident and nasty, which I like most of all. Our receivers are playing really physical right now, and that's really going to help us throughout the season. I don't want to ask any personal questions.